Welcome back, everybody, to your three-man booth. It's NFL Week 14. I'm Dan Salem with Phil and Bud. The Jets and Giants continue to surprise us in less than stellar ways.
Wow.
They do. Zach Wilson won Player of the Week, even though the Jets lost. Anyways, we'll get you your ATS picks here. We had a perfect week last week, 6-0 between the three of us, which is great. What do we got for Week 14, Phil?
I'm just going to do what Bud does, and I'm just going to go against the Giants every week because they're crap. And they're starting their third or fourth string quarterback. I don't even know where we are at this point. But give me the Chargers, and I'll lay the 9.5. I don't care if Keenan Allen's not playing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I hope Mike Williams is playing. He might be out too, but
he was a close contact. All he needs is 2 positive tests, and he's fine. He didn't actually test positive.
Okay. Yeah, the Giants stink. I agree. So what's your second pick?
Yeah. And then I'm taking Denver against Detroit.
Ooh.
I'll let you make your case for why you're taking Detroit, and then I'll rebut you.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to pick the Lions because they have played their last 4 games were all decided by 8 or fewer points, and they're getting 10. I actually took them when they were only getting 8, but they're getting 10 points against the Broncos team who can't do a whole lot. Detroit doesn't lose. They've only lost like 2 blowout games all year. They lose like by 2 points, 3 points, 5 points. I'm going to take the cover plus 10. And they are one of the best teams ATS this season. I like them getting way too many points against a very, very average Denver team.
Average, I'll give you that. But they're also going to Mile High City. They just won an emotional game on Sunday where they had to make a comeback. I don't know if you guys saw it, was the last play of the game. Never should have happened because the Vikings defense tonight is kicking the crap out of Pittsburgh. So I don't know where this defense was on Sunday, but Lions got their win. They got off the schneid. They're not going to be the first 0-17 team in history. Denver's going to Javonte. Did you see Javonte Williams? I said it last week. This guy is going to be good, and he's going to rip through that defense of Detroit.
All right, I'll give you my second pick, and then Bud, you can close this out. I'm going to take Tennessee. They got Jacksonville. Tennessee's home. They're dropping a bunch of points, but they need to win to make the playoffs. They are a good team. Jacksonville sucks, and they have every reason to lose, so they get a better draft pick. This is just a total mismatch within the division, and the Titans have a lot to prove, and this is a team that they can feast upon. So I'm going to drop the points and take the Titans for my second pick. All right, Bud, you going to continue your tradition of picking against the Jets this week?
Yes, I'm taking the Saints, the Packers, and the Bears suck. So
you're taking Green Bay. Yeah, the Bears are.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Those are our ATS picks of the week. The Jets lost last week. I think Zach Wilson had a pretty decent game considering it wasn't great, but for a rookie, it's on the up and up. And now Elijah Moore's hurt. They just seem to get injuries every time they take a positive step forward. The Giants can't keep their quarterback on the field. These teams, these are winnable games, but I don't think either team wins this week.
No, there's no chance. The Giants aren't going to win their game, and Taysom Hill might run for 150 yards on the Jets.
Their defense is atrocious. It's embarrassing what they weren't able to do. I mean, they made Gardner Minshew look like Joe Montana. And I told you guys that this is what was going to end up happening.
Yeah, it was close at halftime. I think it was like a 3 or 4 point game, but then they gave up 2 goals in the second half.
But you know what? It wasn't even really that close because, yes, they were. The Jets scored a touchdown on their opening possession, but that's because Barrios ran it back for 80 yards. So they had a short field. Every time they scored, Philadelphia scored pretty much right away.
It was touchdown. It was like the 6th straight touchdown.
Right. So even though the game was close, Philadelphia was actually completely outplaying them. And you say that Zach, and I hear all these people saying, "Oh, well, Zach Wilson had a good game," and I don't know what game they were watching. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like for 2.5 quarters, he played marginal.
Well, isn't that significantly better than he did the week before? And he's coming off the injury. I mean, that's.
I guess. I mean, listen, I'm not expecting them to be a Super Bowl team, but we all agreed that last week that this was a winnable football game. Their starting quarterback wasn't playing. Their defense was giving up points. Their offense couldn't get anything going. They were a turnover machine the week prior. And again, in typical Jets fashion, they can't guard the tight end ever. Phil knows that for a fact because he
Oh
played
my
against Goddard,
God.
and Goddard had 30 points at halftime.
I played
You know,
Goddard in all of my leagues and got white.
You know what's
in every
interesting?
One of them.
I think that the majority of the Jets draft picks are doing pretty well this season overall. They're all taking good steps in the right direction. I don't know if they'll pan out, but they didn't draft much defense last year at all. And it's showing because this team is playing a lot of fill-ins. And I mean, Bryce Hall is a real bright spot.
I've been watching Jets football for a very, very, very long time. This is the worst defense I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, do you disagree?
No, I don't. But you know what it is? You called it in August because they didn't have anybody and they never played together.
Both of you guys laughed at me when I told you that they were a 4-win team, and you said, "Oh no, they have wins." And Phil's like, "Oh, you're such a pessimist."
Bud,
Well,
I mean,
you have convinced me because you've been so right about this team over the last few years. I'm not going to ignore the trend here. You're spot on. You said 3 wins. They might get 4, but I'm not so sure they're going to get another one this year.
the only other game that they could probably win is Jacksonville, and the way that they're playing defensively, that is like the Eagles are right there, but they shouldn't have beaten the Jets with all of the challenges that they had. They have Miles Sanders is a shell of himself. They have no running game. They were without their starting quarterback. Their offensive line is not great. Their defense could have been had, and they were not able to capitalize on any of that.
I've always liked Gardner Minshew, and I'm really surprised he didn't get a starting job this year. He exceeded expectations, and he continues to play good football when he's given the opportunity. Okay, so the Giants obviously aren't going to win. Do you think Daniel Jones gets back in the field this season?
I mean, is there any reason to?
Well, I mean, he's playing for his job, so he wants to get back out there.
Well, he's playing for his next team.
Right.
He will not be a Giant next year.
Right. Exactly. Listen. Let me tell you something. I know Russell Wilson has denied this rumor, but where there's smoke, there's fire. If Russell Wilson really wants out of Seattle and the 3 teams that he's willing to go to, one of them is New York, I'll give you all the picks you want.
Yeah, I mean, they got 2 top 10s.
I'll give you both those first rounders and next year's first rounder.
Well, I joke about
you're willing to throw away 2 years of draft capital.
All right, maybe not
to get a 36-year-old quarterback.
They should only give one of their ones this year, maybe one this year, one next year. They got to keep one of the 2.
Well, Seattle needs it. So I mean, because
they do.
The Jets trade has looked like it's a.
I know.
I mean,
Adams is out.
Adams is out for the rest of the year.
Every one of those deals Douglas managed to maneuver has really played out in their favor. Didn't they trade their tight end and then he got cut and they re-signed him?
Yeah.
It was New Orleans, New York, and I think Denver were the 3 teams on this mystery list. Apparently, that's out there.
Yeah.
So Phil, let's say the Giants, let's say they lose out, which is a possibility, especially if Daniel Jones isn't going to play, right? Joe Judge safe, or is he gone?
Oof.
Geez, I don't know. I guess it depends who the GM coming in is.
I bet he gets one more season.
Right. I don't think you can pin this whole thing on Judge. It's not like they're making stupid mistakes. They don't have the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so first off, that falls on Gettleman, right?
Yes. Well, he's out.
So we all agree that Gettleman is out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, in the scope of building a team, you have a GM. You don't want to be the Jets, where you get a GM and then you get grandfathered in a coach, right? So if you were going to clean slate, right, you look at the 4 big things that you need to clean: GM, coach, quarterback, running back. Now you have a running back that I can't imagine they're going to bring back. I mean, he is a shell of himself. You got Daniel Jones, who has not gotten his 5th-year option picked up, so he's gone. The GM is gone. There's only one more spoke in that wheel that is still there. Why not just change it all over? And I agree with you. It may not be his fault, but if you want to start from scratch,
I think you keep some stability in the organization and let him stick around, especially if all the other players like him. The Jets kept Gase for that reason, but also because Gase brought in their GM. So I mean, if Judge can bring in a GM, if Judge can find a GM, then he's got a job for a year at least.
Yeah.
But you make a good point. That was a huge mistake. Yes, he brought him in, but in hindsight, they should have fired him after the 2nd year.
Well, if they fired him, would they have gotten Douglas? I mean, we don't know.
The whole year's another wash. I mean, it's another wash.
Yeah.
But this is why you don't draft a running back at number 2.
Well, yeah,
They're better.
I think there's a ton of examples why you don't pay running backs like Zeke, because Zeke, you want to talk about a shell of himself. He's only playing like 40% of the snaps right now. Let's say you do get Russell Wilson. Now you have Russell Wilson, Barkley, Shepard, Galladay, Kadarius Toney. I mean, the pieces are theoretically there, right? To make one.
But they still need an offensive line that can block.
Agreed. Absolutely.
You already had somebody fall on the sword, and the team is not doing well. I mean, again, they should have beaten Miami. Miami's not a good football team.